So at this point, I'll demonstrate my template for you to get started creating music using these intervals, major scales, and diatonic triads. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to pick a key. And for this example, let's do the key of D. Okay, so I'm going to start by going 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Okay, now start with D. We're going to go up 2. We got E. Go up 2. F sharp. Up 1. G. Up 2. A. Up 2. B. Up 2. C sharp. And then right back up 1 to D. Okay, I'm going to put the scale degrees just so I know. 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, so that's going to be the available pool of notes for us to pull from to create a song. Now the next thing is we're going to want to extract the harmony. So let's do the chords. I'm going to go in order 1, 2, 3. We know 2 and 3 are minor, so that's why they're lowercase, if you remember. 4, 5 are major, 6 is minor, 7 is that diminished. All right, so we know 1 is D, 2 is E, 3 is F sharp, 4 is G, 5 is A, 6 is B, and 7 is going to be C sharp. We know 1 is not just D, but D major. We know E is E minor, 3 F sharp minor, 4 G major, 5 A major, 6 B minor, and 7 C sharp diminished. Okay, let's hear those again. D. Okay, so it's always good to sort of get the sound of the key in your head. So now we have the available notes to build the melody. We have the available chords to build the chord patterns. Okay, so there's no really hard and fast rule if you should start with the melody first or the chords first. So what we're going to do today is let's just start with the chords. All right, so you can randomly pick chords and kind of see how they go together. But, each chord is going to have a tendency to want to go somewhere. And typically it's going to end on D major since we're in the key of D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely use that as one of the chords. I'm going to use the 4 chord, G major, because 1 and 4 go together like bread and butter. And to contrast, let's add a minor chord in. So we'll add B minor, which is a 6. It's a really strong minor chord. So let's hear those 3 together. Okay, cool. So that's a good sound. We got a good contrast, 2 major chords to 1 minor chord. Okay, now what I like to do is create a phrase. So maybe the first phrase will have just those 3 chords, and the second phrase will repeat, and we'll add in this 5 chord, which has a really strong tendency to pull us back to 1. So we can hear those. All right, that'll be phrase 1 and phrase 2. Okay, so we got a 2-part phrase. That's cool. Now, typically, you don't need to use any more chords than just that in a song, because if you're going to try to use all 7 chords, we're not really going to build any repetition or tendencies to keep the listener engaged. So keep in mind that less is more really pays off here. Okay, next step is I'm going to actually just make a note of what actual pitches are in each of these chords. So in the D major chord, we have D, F sharp, and A. So root 3rd, 5th. Go down G, skip A, we get B, skip C sharp, we get D, root 3rd, 5th of that. Okay, we're going to go to A, skip B, give ourselves C sharp, skip D, give ourselves E. Okay, and then B minor, here we go. B, skip C sharp, go to D, and then skip E, go to F sharp, and we've got our B minor notes. The reason I like to do this is so I can visually see what my key melodic notes should be. All right, because we don't want to just randomly pick notes from the major scale and then randomly put chords with it. We want it all to kind of come together, and each melodic tendency should move to the next chord, and vice versa. Each chord tendency should move to the next melodic note. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use key pillar notes, being how about the thirds and fifths of these. Okay, so the thirds and fifths of these. So when I'm on the D major chord, the melody note should be somewhere around an F sharp or an A, at least at some point of the time. G major chord, when that strums, you should hear a B or a D. A major chord strums, you should hear C sharp or an E. And then a B minor strums, we should hear a D and an F sharp. Okay, so at this point I have some key pillar melodic notes. Now I can just play around and create some sort of melodic line against these chords. So what I'll do is I'll have the guitar, I'll play the chords, and then on the keyboard I'll hit some key melodic notes, and let's see what we come up with. All right, so the gist of what you heard was thirds and fifths and maybe some root notes here and there were my target notes, and then I used connecting tones to sort of connect the melodic lines to make it a nice singable phrase. So this you can apply in any key, at any tempo, with any instruments, and any combination of chords, with any combination of melodic notes that match with those. And you're always going to have like a good template, a good starting point for a song. Then from there, you can mess with the timbral qualities and make a cool production out of it, and just the sky's the limit. All right, so go ahead and have some fun playing with that.